How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sunday, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Azarian. And it is Thursday here on the show. You know what that means? We got a lot to talk about here today. And just a quick note, Sports Byline is struggling to stay connected here today, so if we drop off the radio, you can always continue listening. Twitch.tv/F4W video. There we go, right there. Or F4WOnline.com/YouTube. F4WOnline.com/YouTube, everybody. Twitch.tv/F4W video. Just want to get those out there before everything goes wrong. So anyway, we got a lot to get into here today. Tonight is TNA Impact. We'll tell you about that. SmackDown tomorrow. We got Collision on Saturday, as well as NXT Vengeance Day coming up on Saturday. Last night was Dynamite. We have a couple of weeks left, a week and a half. March 15th is AEW Revolution. And we do have 7 matches announced for that show. And so we're going to tell you all of those and what else we might get as we get moving here. Also have an update on Collision Saturday, the return of Rush and Dralistico. We got updates on Logan Paul and Tom Brady and Saturday night's main event, David Finlay returning to wrestling for AEW and not WWE/NXT. We got a new Sting trademark, which is amazing, and we got a bunch of ratings, notes, and plenty more. Of course, in the final segment of the show, we will tell you all about Dynamite from Wednesday night. If you want to text us, 425-780-7566. That is 425-780-7566. F4W Online at gmail.com. F4W Online on Threads, Instagram, and Cameo as well. At Bryan Alvarez, X, and Blue Sky. And I'm flying solo here today. Solo even perhaps from Byline. But we're going to barrel on through as we always do. Back in a moment with more Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Well, we reviewed SmackDown yesterday, Tom, and you don't even get SmackDown. You're very, just, you know how you are.
Fine. Whatever. I don't care. Whatever.
That's your impression of me?
Yeah, that's my impression of you.
Wow.
So what are we, at least, I hope you at least watch a SmackDown main event.
I watched the entire show.
Okay, because there's a lot of people that still like your review, Tom.
I went on the board, and I saw like 2 people.
Yeah, do you go on, you go on Twitter?
Yeah, I do go on Twitter,
You read my emails? Messages? I mean...
Do you go on Twitter? Because if you do,
yes.
You would have seen one of the greatest moments in world history.
In world history, really.
World history. Frank Tate walked away the victor of the fight, but he walked away an even bigger winner when it comes to life. This man completed what I would say is the best high five, the best dap up in the history of the galaxy. This man had his dog. His dog. And when I say dog,
barely a dog.
I mean D-O-G and D-A-W-G. This was a dog, baby. The dog was so proud. You can see just the elation in that dog's face. He threw that paw up. He let it hang for a few moments, and then he brought it down for the dap.
Tom's not even doing this justice. Everyone has seen a dog, like you put your hand out and the dog like puts his paw up to shake hands. This freaking dog goes, ah, ha-bah! Like, what? That was more than a high five. I don't even know what you would even term that. He dunked. He dunked that man.
30 million views on this clip. And that is about 1/10 of what it should have. So if you haven't seen it, you deserve it. Treat yourself. Go to my Twitter. Watch Frank Tate high five his dog.
No, he did not high five his dog.
The dog high fived him.
His dog high fived him. Yes. He just wanted like a, just boom. And this dog was like, no way, brother. You knock that man out. I'm going to give you a big time dunking high five from way up high. You know, you go high five, up high, down low, too slow. This was an up high. Guy should have pulled his hand away.
It's the best thing you've ever seen.
Man, too slow, Joe. Yeah, it was pretty good. Not going to lie. I liked it. Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Alive, going solo here today, and as always, we're doing the best we can. We got a lot of news to get into. Oh my God, I just shut the wrong window as I tried to shut that tab. Hold on, there we go. All right, there we go. We should be back and good to go now, hopefully. All right, we got a lot to get into here today, and here we go. You know, this stuff always happens when I'm going solo. It's kind of how it works. But if you want to text us here today and join the show, 425-780-7566, F4WOnline at gmail.com, F4W Online, Threads, Instagram, and Cameo, at Bryan Alvarez on X and Blue Sky. Let's do it. All right. So first off, last night was Dynamite, and before the show, there were several dark matches, and Rush is back. Rush and Dralistico both. They're both going to be wrestling on Saturday night, the Collision show. They've got a 5-match card already for Collision. We got FTR versus the Rascals for the tag team titles. We have got Claudio Castagnoli versus Takeshita, apparently not for the CMLL heavyweight title. We got Swerve versus Gravity, and we have Dralistico and Rush versus the Swirl, the Outrunners, and Private Party, in a match that presumably Dralistico and Rush are going to win. I mean, if you look at the lineup, they probably should beat all of those teams. But both of them coming back from injury, and the story with Rush is he was out with a knee injury. Dralistico wasn't going to be out for too long. I think he had an ear injury, if I recall correctly. But Rush had a knee injury, and I guess they sent him to an NFL doctor, and it was one of those deals where the doctor said you can either get surgery, which apparently would have put him out of action a long time, or you can do hard rehab for 3 months and see how the knee does, and worst case scenario, you get surgery, then best case scenario, you come back. And so he chose the rehab, and apparently worked last night, and told people his knee feels great. So they're back, and we'll see what happens on Saturday night. But that's the update on Rush. And is that a number one contenders match? Does anybody know what's going on with that four-way? I know the tag titles are on the line with FTR and the Rascals. And then, obviously, FTR is going to defend the titles against the Bucks at the pay-per-view, which is coming up in about 10 days. And then I guess we'll see what happens afterwards. But I presume the Young Bucks are winning the tag team titles because they did the heavy heat angle with the family and gave the stuff pile driver to the brother, threw powder in the eyes of the dad, and then shoved the Young Bucks' mother, who actually took a great bump. And they're all going to be at ringside for the match of the pay-per-view. So presumably they'll get involved and cost FTR the tag team titles. I could be wrong, but that seems to be the happy ending to the story they've told so far. So we'll see what happens at the pay-per-view. But we do have a somewhat of a lineup. We're 10 days out, and we have 7 matches. And normally, the card comes together at the last minute. That's kind of how he does pay-per-views. But the lineup thus far is MJF Hangman Page, Texas Death Match. If Hangman loses, he can no longer challenge for the world title ever again. They've done this once, and I don't know, man. I presume that Hangman Page is winning because, the thing with Cody is Tony Khan has always kind of said, we're not going to break stipulations here, okay? Now, technically, Cody Rhodes is the guy who said, if I don't win, I will never challenge for the title again. It wasn't like an official stipulation from AEW, so they could have done the deal where, he turns heel and ends up winning the title, and he went back on his word, but AEW didn't actually break a stipulation. And, I think technically Hangman did the same thing. People can correct me if I'm wrong. I was actually on a cruise when they shot this angle, but people have said it's the same thing. So they could have Hangman lose, and then later he turns heel, and technically AEW didn't go back on the stipulation. But the problem is something like that is semantics, and if you do a pay-per-view and you advertise that is the stipulation, if Page loses, he can't challenge for the world title again. I mean, semantics aside, you're going back and you're breaking a stip. So I think that I can't imagine Hangman never challenging for the title again. He's like in his early 30s. It makes no sense. So, I think that I think MJF is going to win. We got FTR against the Young Bucks as noted. And then we got Jon Moxley Takeshita. No time limit match for the AEW Continental Championship. We got Bandito versus Andrade. We have Brody King versus Swerve Strickland. Tekla versus Chris Statlander is a best of 3 falls match, which I'm not sure we need that one to be a best of 3 falls match because, especially depending on where they put that match on the card. Everybody loves Statlander, but the fact is her matches many times have struggled for heat. And going even longer by doing best of 3, I don't know. Maybe it'll work, but I don't know if I would have done that stip. And then Okada, Kyle Fletcher, and Mark Davis will be facing Kevin Knight, Mike Bailey, and Mystico for the AEW World Trios titles, which is obviously Mystico is replacing Hangman in that team. They lost the Trios titles, and so that will be a kind of a rematch there coming up at the pay-per-view. So also, I don't know if we talked about this, but Ring of Honor ran a standalone taping this past Sunday, and I guess they're permanently moving to Jacksonville. They will be doing standalone tapings for Ring of Honor. And this is different from what they used to do, which is tape a whole bunch of television. Those of you that used to go to the Collision and the Dynamite tapings, and sometimes they would do like these marathon tapings, especially for Collision. It's like they would do hours of Ring of Honor, and then the Collision, and then more Ring of Honor afterwards. And like people would go to the shows, and you'd be there for like 6 hours or something like that. And now these will be standalone tapings, and obviously I think it's better in the sense that if you can get people into the building to just watch Ring of Honor, it's going to be a much better crowd for Ring of Honor than if you're running a Collision taping or a Dynamite taping and people show up to watch Collision and Dynamite, and then they're forced to sit through Ring of Honor and they don't really care all that much. In theory, you should have better crowds. And I believe it is also somewhat of a cost-saving measure in the sense that, I think that sometimes AEW had to pay extra money because the shows went so long that the building charged them more for those Ring of Honor tapings. And so I think it's a combination of the two things. Yes, I meant Hangman winning, not MJF. I might have said MJF, but I meant Hangman. Hangman is going to win the pay-per-view match, everybody got it? But anyway, I think it's partially cost-saving and partially also hopefully a better crowd as they're going to be serving the people who are showing up for Ring of Honor. So anyway, we're going to do a break. Back in a moment with more Wrestling Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Let's do this unnecessary censorship.
Talk about your Psalms, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says I just your ass.
That was terrible. Horrible. They weren't the Heart Foundation. They weren't the British Bulldogs, okay? They're two geeks. And this celebration these guys did.
Oh.
I mean, they're like, Sean, give me brother. Yeah.
A place like that?
You two dorks. That's what you did. Why are you so excited?
Because they're awesome.
Okay. That was better than the first one.
It picked up at the end there.
Yes.
Unnecessary censorship.
He beat him. And 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 he beat him. I'm sweating.
Time to stop.
And he beat him.
Was this edited?
And then he beat him. And he
I don't
beat
think
him.
so.
I actually wore that shirt. It just says he beat him. He beat him. He beat him all the way down. Like,
All the way down, you say?
I dropped her off at camp, and the camp counselor just looks at me. She goes, "He beat him and beat him." I was like, "Gag gift."
Brian, would you for me again this week? It's too hot to do much.
That's true. It is too hot to do much.
I guess I just better do it because it came up for me.
I'll wait.
It won't come up again. It's pretty short, so I'll just do it. Yeah. Now I gotta find it back.
Okay.
It isn't
Damn, I'm
coming
gonna
up.
kill you. How about you just it? Okay.
Ouch.
What else we got, Vinny? Hope the granny licks her finger to turn the page. Lick that finger. There'll be
Page
an
2.
unnecessary censorship coming up. Lick that. Okay, let's see. Unnecessary censorship.
So Oro Ethan after the match and gets his ass just into the earth.
Vinny.
And Ethan is leaving, holding his all confident. And then Oro just comes back to life, and now he Ethan's ass.
Oro jumps him from behind.
Yep.
Then he his ass after cheap shotting the guy. Haha. That was interesting. That's quite unnecessary. Instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Going solo here today. Man, guys, combination of going solo. Then we have connection issues that I have to deal with. And then, as I'm trying to tell all this news and do predictions for some AEW pay-per-view, we get breaking news. So yes, my prediction for the pay-per-view is that MJF is losing to Hangman Page. Hangman is not losing. We're not doing a situation where he will never challenge for the title again. You got it? All right. Now, it does appear that Road Dogg has quit WWE. Trying to get more information, but apparently that just came out, and we did hear that it appears that he has quit. And I believe, I don't know all of this yet, so we may have more information by the end of the show. But I believe that he was the head writer of SmackDown a while ago, and it was when they first went to 3 hours and the show was atrocious. And then I think it was like last summer, he wasn't like, taken off creative, but maybe a restructuring, and somebody else kind of took over. And of course, that coincided with the show going back to 2 hours. So I'm sure that person got all the credit for the show getting better. And I will say that now that they have moved to 3 hours again, it is better. It has been much better at 3 hours in 2026 than it was at 3 hours in 2025. The 3-hour show in 2025 was freaking awful. And a 3-hour show in 2026 is better. And one of the reasons for that, I believe, is, if you recall, I don't even know what brought about SmackDown going to 3 hours. Because if I recall correctly, when they did the earnings call, it was like, I'm not sure they were even paid more for that 3 hours. And they were 3 hours for, half the year. And then they got that Braun Strowman show to go afterwards. They went back to 2, and the Braun Strowman show did well. And then that show's over. So now we got 3 more hours. And I think it's going to be the same thing. They're trying to find like another show or maybe another Braun Strowman, another season. And then probably during the summer, the show will go back to 2 hours. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, why, the finances, whatever. But they might have got a little bit. I mean, they should have gotten more advertising money because they had an extra hour. But I'm not sure if they were like paid for the hour. But anyway, the point is this. In 2025, I don't want to say they were caught off guard by going 3 hours, but they certainly were not prepared to go 3 hours. Because, they had a 2-hour roster for a 3-hour show. And Raw had a 3-hour roster for a 2-hour and 30-minute show. So, Raw was longer, but when you watched the show, it was like they had enough people. They didn't have to have these excruciatingly long matches. The talent and everything fit the 2.5 hours. Whereas on SmackDown, it was like, this is a 2-hour show that just feels stretched 3 hours. They don't have enough people. They don't have enough talent. And then, they went back to 2 hours. Everything was fine. And then, they've moved back to 3, but we've got a lot of call-ups from NXT. We've had people that have jumped over from Raw. They've really filled out the roster. So now at least it feels like it's a 3-hour show with a 3-hour roster. I don't want it to be 3 hours, but if it's 3 hours, at least give me like 3 hours of content. So I'm sure, people will say that one of the reasons the 3-hour show last year sucked was because of Road Dogg. And I won't absolve him because maybe it did. I don't know. But I do know that, the fact that they had a limited roster, a 2-hour roster for a 3-hour show, that was the biggest issue. It was just like, why is this show so long? We don't need 3 hours. You can do the show in 2 hours. Whereas now, if you had to do the show in 2 hours, you'd have to cut a lot of stuff and cut a lot of people. So it is better now. We'll see what happens this summer when they cut back. Russell Votes is claiming that WWE is trying to put something together for Tom Brady to perhaps show up at WrestleMania. I would not be surprised. I'm sure they're trying to do a lot of stuff, I'm sure, because ticket sales still are not great for WrestleMania. In fact, let's see if we can get the latest update from WrestleTix. And by the way, this coming Monday, I did break down, and I bought tickets, taking the kids to Raw. $300 to get the 3 of us in, which is more than I wanted to pay, if we're being honest. But about a month ago, it would have been over $600. So the fact that I paid 50% of what I would have paid, and they're not terrible seats. They're not like on the floor or anything like that. But I paid basically $100 each. We're going to go to Raw on Monday, and you'll have a live perspective here on this show and also Wrestling Observer Radio. Tom Brady is a minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. That is correct. So, they play at Allegiant Stadium, so they're going to try and use that. So, as of today, this morning. As of this morning, WrestleMania Saturday is at 36,735. And where is Sunday? Sunday is 37,346. So let's see what the last update was. I'm not even sure what the last update was. But I can tell you. Okay, so yeah, in the last week, okay? In the last week, they have sold 534 tickets. This is for the biggest show of the year, WrestleMania, 2 nights, Las Vegas, Allegiant Stadium. They've sold 500 tickets over the course of the past week. They're averaging 70 tickets a day for WrestleMania. For a show that they want to put 60,000 people or close into the building, they're stuck at 36, and they're moving 70 tickets a day. Should we find out what tickets are going for? Last I checked, I think I could get in for about $700 for like an absolutely horrific seat. So let's see what they're going for. WrestleMania 2026. All right. Should we do the combo package? WrestleMania 2-day combo package. Let's see what we got for 2-day combo package for WrestleMania. Currently at 36,000. All right. I'll say, what, 1 ticket? I'm going by myself. All right. Right now, okay, they've dropped a little bit. Right now, if you want a 400 level ticket, section 406, row 3, which is about as high as you can possibly get and not touch the ceiling if the roof is open. It's a retractable roof, right? Anyway, $341 is the absolute cheapest ticket that you can get out in the middle of nowhere for WrestleMania. If you get down into the 200 area, the very, very back of the 200, you're looking at still $600. The 100 area is about $600. Actually, no. That a prime 100 level seat is still $1,500. If we get down to the risers in the 100 level, you're looking at $3,000 a ticket. If we get down to the floor, the B section of the floor, $2,500 for a ticket. The A level on the floor is currently $9,000 a ticket. And that's that. The best seats available right now, Section A4, Row 2, $46,000. Section A1, Row 5 is $12,000. Section A6, Row 8 is $9,000. And, yeah, that's what you're looking at. So, yeah, tickets aren't moving at all. And prices, I think, are the main issue. So, there we go. Let's see. Philip here, who I sat with last year. My friend did the winter pre-sale for both nights, and my tickets for both nights, from where we were last year to this year, was $300 for night 1 and $500 for night 2, $983 total. And those were good seats. So he paid $983 last year, and I would say we were probably in an area where now, instead of paying $983, you would be paying $2,700. So triple, I think, compared to what we paid last year. So anyway, the point is, tickets are too expensive. People aren't going. And it's not just WrestleMania. It's like, you got to go to 2 nights of WrestleMania. You got to fly to Vegas. You got to get a hotel, which is going to average you like, I don't know, $300, $400 a night. I mean, it's just too much money. People aren't willing to pay this year. And I think the other issue, possibly the larger issue, I shouldn't say the largest issue is the tickets prices. But the other issue is, We still don't know practically anything for WrestleMania. I mean, we got a few matches, but, people need a card if they're going to pay that kind of money, and we don't have one right now. And Elimination Chamber is over in, 5 matches between 2 nights? Anyway, back in a moment with more Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Jared, put old Granny on. Let's see what she's up to. Oh, man, she's doing something. Oh, Lord.
She's trying to plug in the box, Brian.
Granny can't connect. And so I call her on the phone, and she alerts us that she apparently knocked the box off her desk. Whatever's happening right there, that doesn't look good. She knocked down the camera now? What's going on?
She's got a hold of the camera, I think.
She's okay. Well, we've got the ceiling at least. There's the box. Hey, we got the box, Jared. Does it look like it's plugged in?
No.
It's definitely not on.
No.
Okay. That's her back, I believe. She appears to be doing something.
Apparently yoga.
That's her hair. Are we sure that's not Ric Flair? Now she's got to find the phone, too.
Think anyone's going to still subscribe after the show?
I hope we get a bunch of video signups. This is interesting.
Is it now?
Oh, man, we can almost see the front of the tie line to see if it's on. But we can't. We can only see the side of it, as well as a flashlight and dice. I don't know why there are dice there.
Well, you never know when you're going to play dice in the dark.
She's still doing something.
That's good radio, boss.
Show that again, what's she doing?
You know what's a good show is the Big VV show.
Is it?
Or if you Pod Armenia 2025.
She might be tying her shoe or something.
Ed and
down
San
there.
Antonio show.
Granny is furiously doing something. It's possible that we should sabotage the box every week.
No!
So that she can, get up and down like Roddy Piper once said. No, I know. I'm calling you. Phone. I'm calling you. Oh, my God. How are you?
I'm exhausted. Oh, I want to tell Vinny I watched his show today.
Thank you, Granny. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good.
Good. That sounded very sincere.
Stunning review. Well,
Anyway.
can we please make that into a commercial, Jared, for Vinny's show? Apple Podcast carries every podcast that we produce.
Oh, I want to tell Vinny I watched his show today.
Thank you, Granny. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good.
Good.
So check it out, f4wonline.com/Apple. Try your free trial today. What is happening here? Yes, Granny?
I don't care if it's show or what. My computer went out and I can't fix it.
Okay. Jared, can you fix Granny's computer?
But he tried to get a pin.
I am Steve.
Brian, what are you doing?
Now my child is sending me a voice message.
Steel chicken jockey.
All right, we'll try to get to Dynamite here. If we don't, Bryan and Vinny's show tonight, only for subscribers at WrestlingObserver.com. 90 minutes to talk AEW and NXT, and there's a lot to talk about. And you can subscribe at WrestlingObserver.com, which gets you the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the Wrestling Observer newsletter archives, all the podcasts. 18,000 archived podcasts are available at WrestlingObserver.com, and all that kind of good stuff. So that's WrestlingObserver.com. If you only want the podcasts or want to save some money because you're trying to buy WrestleMania tickets, the YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify are all just $9.99. You get all the podcasts. Spotify and YouTube include the audio and video. Spotify has video now. You get audio or video. Obviously, YouTube, not only do you get video, but you can watch the shows live. And if you have an Apple device and want to do Apple Podcasts, that's available as well. So either go to f4wonline.com, which has everything, or f4wonline.com/YouTube for the YouTube page, f4wonline.com/Apple for Apple Podcasts, or f4wonline.com/Spotify for Spotify. And all those latter three services, all $9.99 per month. So first off, I was talking earlier about SmackDown and Braun Strowman and everything like that, and it looks like second season production has begun. A return date has not been announced yet, but expected to premiere early summer of 2026. So possible that that's going to be the impetus for SmackDown going back to 2 hours if that happens again this year, because that's what happened last year. So, and best wishes to him, because he's had a rough time physically of late. But looks like it's back into production, and he's eating like a maniac again. So there's that. Then, of course, the Road Dogg story that we talked about earlier. And that follows in the heels of this. And actually, I think Filthy might have talked about Braun Strowman's show several weeks ago. But it is officially in production now. WWE has a new lead writer. Alexandra Williams posted Wednesday. She has been promoted to vice president, as well as lead writer of Raw. Williams has been with WWE since October 2020, starting as a writer and producer for Raw, getting a promotion as senior writer and producer. February 2024, she is now the lead writer for Raw. So basically, what's happened here is we've got a creative shakeup on Raw and SmackDown. And it was hinted to me that it's possible there is more to come. And I'll say this, okay? I'll say this. Has the creative been great of late? It is not. Are there some reasons for that? Well, of course there is. You know, one of the biggest things that was going to happen at WrestleMania was Braun Breaker beating CM Punk for the title and the elevation of Braun Breaker. And obviously, Braun Breaker got hurt after Seth Rollins got hurt. Bronson Reed then got hurt. And so, yes, now we have Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. Seth getting revenge on somebody who wasn't even with the group when Seth went down. But, like, what can you do? Braun Breaker got hurt, screwed up everything. Bronson Reed got hurt, screwed up everything. So, I mean, there are things that have happened that have caused certain storylines. You know, like if you hate what they're doing with Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, it was never supposed to happen. It was supposed to be Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. There were a lot of things that were supposed to happen that, as a result of injuries or whatever, they're not happening. But with that said, even on top of that, has creative been great? No. So I don't like seeing anybody fired. Do I like to see someone get a promotion? Sure. You know? Do I think that we could use maybe a creative shakeup? Sure. Do I think that has anything to do with WrestleMania stuck at 36,000? No! They're stuck at 36,000 because the show's too expensive. We don't have a lineup. You know, they mentioned, I mean, there was a deal about a month ago, actually. You know, Dave was talking about how, you know, there was a report out that there was going to be a WrestleMania card shakeup as a result of ticket sales being slow. And he pointed out, which is correct, how does a card that nobody knows have anything to do with how many tickets have been sold? We don't know what their proposed card was. They've changed whatever the lineup was for WrestleMania. Maybe we would have liked the other one better. Nobody knows because we don't know what the card was. So the idea that you're changing, I just punched the mic violently. The idea that you're changing a card that nobody knows because you think the card that nobody knows is why no one's buying tickets. This is a classic example of there is an obvious problem, but let's look at every other thing and change things that have nothing to do maybe with the problem and go from there. Hey, maybe I'd love creative to be better. I'd love creative to be better everywhere, but I don't think that that's the solution to the problem they're facing, which is that no one's buying tickets for WrestleMania this year. You know? Here's the thing with high tickets, guys. Okay? Some people get really mad at how much the ticket prices are. But I don't like the ticket prices being this high. But the fact of the matter is, they're running a business, and they have to answer to shareholders, and they have to make a lot of money, okay? If you're going to charge $35,000 for a VIP front row 2-night pass for WrestleMania, if you want to charge $35,000, okay, if you charge these ticket prices and you sell out every single ticket, then as a business, that's what you should do, okay? If you are AEW and you decide we're going to sell all tickets for $5, and what happens is the scalpers buy up all the tickets and they sell the tickets for $100 and you sell out, well, clearly you should have sold them for $100 because the people paid $100 for the tickets, but you sold them for $5. So you got to find out how much can we charge for tickets where we will sell all these tickets, okay? And the price may be high. If things are hot, the prices are high. That's just the way things work, okay? That's the street price. But when you are running a show like WrestleMania and you're trying to sell 60,000 tickets and you stall out at 35, the answer is not creative. The answer is not whether Road Dogg is on the SmackDown team or not or anybody else. The answer is your tickets are too high. And when your tickets are too high, you have two options, okay? You can look at reality, which is the tickets are too high, or you can look at everything else that has nothing to do with it and make a whole bunch of changes, and you're still not going to sell any more tickets. So prices will drop, and we'll see if I end up going to WrestleMania, but I ain't going at these prices. I can tell you that much. All right. Person says, I don't know about finding the price ceiling with the biggest show of the year at WrestleMania. Bro, it's not just WrestleMania. I told you about Raw, okay? Raw ticket prices were twice as high a month ago, and they have since dropped by half. And like everyone's talking about international fans and everything like that. Are international fans coming to Raw? The Raw in Seattle, the ticket prices, I paid half of what I would have paid a month ago. The prices have gone down. And if you look at the seating map, there's still a lot of tickets available. Those aren't tickets that somebody from London was going to buy, but they decided they're not coming to America. The tickets were too high for a Raw in Seattle, and it's not the only show. So, that's the update. All right. Let's do a quick look at Dynamite. We can do this quickly because a lot of it's just wrestling. A lot of it was very good. Although, so we'll talk about tonight. I don't think Dynamite needs to go 18 minutes past the top of the hour every single week, especially when the main event is starting in the overrun. They were 3 minutes into the overrun when the main event started, and we had a commercial break during an overrun. There's enough wrestling on television. There's such a thing as too much of a good thing. MJF and Kevin Knight, excellent main event. Actually, it was the opener, but it was the main event. Max ended up winning with the Heat Seeker. They did give a visual pinfall at one point to Kevin Knight, but it was kind of weird. It was like MJF set up the visual pinfall for himself so he could lay down longer, but he did get the win, got the Heat Seeker. Very good match. And then Hangman Page came out, distracted him, speedball, hit Max with a super kick, and that was that. Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin versus Clark Connors and Gabe Kidd. Orange hit Clark, pinned him, and then the heels beat down the babyfaces afterwards, and David Finlay debuted for AEW. The War Dogs are back as just the Dogs, all three of them. And David Finlay, I guess he got offers from everywhere, and the highest offer was AEW, and so that's where he went. And that's that. We had Brawling Birds versus The Inspiration. God bless them. But, like, for a work rate-based company, I was astounded to hear that the Inspiration signed with AEW. I didn't know what they were going to do. I was just aghast at the idea of these matches. And I don't know how much they're being paid, man. But they were paid enough to leave TNA as tag team champions. And they showed up here and were immediately squashed and both pinned at the same time. It was like a blow-off for, like, a run. Like they're leaving the territory. And this was their first match. Brawling Birds won. We had a Hangman squash, and then he cuts a promo. And long story short, this sets up a 6-man for the main event, which we shall get to. Jon Moxley beat Hechicero in a very good match. Then set up the Takeshita match for the pay-per-view. They're going to do a no time limit match. Had a segment with the Young Bucks and FTR setting up their match at the pay-per-view. We had a Brody King promo where he was attacked by Swerve and choked out with a chain. And that sets up their match coming up at the pay-per-view. I wonder if they're going to add a stip to this, because we got a lot of stipulation matches coming up on this show. Tekla and Thunder Rosa for the women's title. Match was all right. Tekla won. Spear, curb stomp, pinned her. And then Statlander came out. Sisters of Sin prevented her from getting in the ring. Tekla hit Thunder with another curb stomp, left her for dead. And they're going to be doing that Statlander-Tekla best of 3 falls match at the pay-per-view. There were 7 minutes officially left on the show, with a main event still to come. But instead, they brought out Ciampa. And he did a segment with FTR. And they wanted him to join. He said he hated their guts. Ended up hitting Dax. Dax ends up leaving. Said he'll see him Saturday at Collision. And got everybody talking. Is Johnny Gargano leaving WWE and coming in? I don't know. I have no inside info. But it was at least interesting that they kind of teased that. And then the main event was Jet Speed and Hangman against the Don Callis family AEW Tag Team titles. And we had a commercial. We had a video unavailable portion of this match. And then we came back for a whole bunch of crazy dives, big spots, big moves. And then Okada gave Kevin the lariat. Davis hit him with a pile driver. Kevin Knight is pinned twice on one show. They couldn't even beat Speedball. So Don Callis family, Aussie Open, all tag team champs again. Yes, I know they are trios champions, but they're tag team champions. It's a tag team trios match, whatever. So anyway, Hangman got involved, and he ended up... actually, MJF got involved, clobbered Hangman with the ring, which basically Hangman had asked for earlier, so he got what he deserved. And that sets up some stuff for MJF and Hangman as well. Back in a moment with more Observer Live. We did, in fact, by popular demand, watch Ready to Rumble.
The champion is some fat loser.
Yeah, he's a completely talentless, no athletic ability, can't wrestle, broke bum that walked out on his wife and kid.
But he was
he's
over.
the world champion.
He
and
was
in the movie. The
well, yeah, but
storyline
that's a
is-
microcosm of wrestling, sadly.
Yes.
He feels so bad about drinking this entire slushy that costs $1.26, and he sticks his finger in his asshole and walks up to the clerk.
Lance is dying. How could the movie be so bad?
I'm not going to fault the man for that, of all the things in the movie.
I thought for
okay?
sure you were going to say you'd done this before.
There's a reason I'm not going to fault the man for that.
I just think with all the porta potties and farting in this, that I think Vince McMahon was a secret producer on this film. Had to have been.
So then we get the Shermanator. He's played a WCW arcade game. He uses some internet sleuthing to find the personal information of Jimmy King.
He's searching the internet. Can find out anything on here. This movie was so antiquated. Every Nitro Girl is in a Nitro Girl outfit, except for this girl. They had her
want
dance
her
in something
to
totally
stand out,
different.
Brian, like the captain.
So we're so stupid. I got it.
Captain
Yes,
Stabbing.
if you're watching this film, you're that stupid. I'm sorry.
But I was also insulted by the fact they hired Michael Buffer to announce the Royal Bash, the fake-ass Royal Bash.
$24 million budget.
Wow.
And probably $500,000 of that went to Michael Buffer. It made 12. You know, we
He
should mention
unveils-
this cage match is the triple-decker Cage of Doom. Everybody buried it. It was horrible. Everybody hated it. And so they decided to make a movie. And what is the final battle? It's another goddamn triple-decker cage match. This would be like in 2010 if like TNA made a movie and the final match was a reverse battle royal.
They throw powder in someone's face, DDP's, I think, or somebody's, and the dude just looks at it and goes, "It doesn't work." It's like, of course, because wrestling's fake and stupid.
Should we just end it there? What a soundbite. There has never been a movie I have watched in my entire life which has made me hate myself more.
Wow.
I'm ashamed that I'm even in the place at 41 years old where I would end up reviewing this movie for money. I would have thought I would have made it out of here by now. You know what I mean? I'm done.
Well, everyone, hopefully we can do this again someday. Instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe. Holy smokes, a lot of stuff happened today. Jeez. An hour just flies by when there's all of this news. Well, listen, if you want more news, WrestlingObserver.com. As noted, Vinny and I are going to be up tonight. Bryan and Vinny show, 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern, only for YouTube subscribers live. The rest of you, the Apple Podcasts and Spotify and main site and everything like that, it'll be up about 5 minutes after the show ends. I get them up quick. But, yeah, we'll be doing that live tonight. So, f4wonline.com/YouTube. Sign up and watch the shows live. You can chat along with us during those shows. And we answer questions and fun stuff like that. So, anyway, that's coming up tonight. I'll be back tomorrow. It'll be a fun Friday with Filthy Tom Lawler. Maybe we can do a sponsorship snackdown or something fun. And then this weekend, we'll be covering the NXT PLE. Probably Sunday night with Vinny. Appears to be the plan. I got a lot of stuff going on this weekend, as always. So anyway, should mention also, if you want to head to the Vegas convention with us, much cheaper than WrestleMania. A lot of fun stuff. There's Q&As and live podcasts. You can meet Dave and I and Vinny, and we got post-shows after WrestleMania. We got a deal where you can sit and watch wrestling with Dave Meltzer. We've got an all-you-can-eat Brazilian steakhouse. Tickets for all of this are available. f4wonline.com/Vegas. So you should check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. f4wonline.com/Vegas. So check it out and join us, everybody. And that's all. So thanks for listening. We'll be back later on tonight with more. I'll be back tomorrow. Wrestling Observer Live.